Welcome to Hispanic Biz, Stories of Success. I'm Homero Galicia. On this program, we interview business owners who've built successful business to learn from them, their story, their challenges, their victories, in the hopes that we can learn a good story, but also good techniques for business. Today, we're fortunate to have with us a wonderful entrepreneur, Silvia Martinez, who is in a second business that she started. Thank you for being with us, Silvia.
Thank you for asking me to be here. That probably I am not the size of the people you interviewed before. I feel that it can be probably, I hope so, not too disappointed.
No, not at all. Your story is fascinating. Now, what is your business today? Your business name is AMEX?
AMEX Properties. And what we do, we develop with shopping centers as commercial properties. We started buying a little strip center and added to that strip center. Then we bought another one's already built, and then we passed to build it to buy the land, raw land, and develop it, and build it and rent it, and we try to keep it. And
so you manage those
oh,
properties
yes,
now.
yeah.
Now, your business before that, what kind of business was that?
Auto parts. We sell auto parts for automobiles for almost 30 years. I started that in the Mexican side in Juarez in 1976.
And then you sold that.
I sold it in 2005, but we grew it in Juarez, and then in the 80s we saw the necessity to open here. We opened here, and we grow here in Arizona, and then I sold it in 2005.
You grew up in Juarez?
No. I am from Delicias,
Okay.
south of Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there until I finished secundaria, that it is middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I studied in Chihuahua City, because in Delicias back in that time, at my age, it was nothing more available. And I stay in Chihuahua. I study social work, very different from what I am doing now, but it's the only thing that I look around in my choices, because we didn't have money. I can afford to go to high school for 3 years in that time. No, I think it was 2 years. And then to the university my mom can afford it. And I says, okay, what I will do? I don't want to stay in the little town with no opportunities, but also I knew that my family can afford to keep me for several years, paying my stay, my food, and everything. I found that I can go to study social work. In that time, it was only 3 years of study after middle school. Unfortunately, when I was there, they changed it to 4 years. I said, oh my goodness, 1 year more. But okay.
And that was in Chihuahua.
Yeah, Chihuahua City.
And your father, what did your father do?
My father, he was a farmer at the beginning, but also he studied the only thing available in Delicias, that it was what they call carrera comercial, 3 years to go to an academy to learn the short write and typewriting and things like that, take numbers. And then he was an employee, a federal government employee.
And I understand he died when you were
Yeah,
young.
unfortunately, he got diabetes in the 50s, when it was like Uh, and he died very young, 30 years old. My mom was 28 years, widow with 3 kids and another one on the way.
So how many brothers and sisters then?
I have 1 brother and 2 sisters.
Okay. And so, so by the time you went to finish secondary and all of that, you were. It was just your mother. Was she working?
Yes. Yeah, she was trying to make ends with whatever my father left, but because she didn't have any education, it was really hard for her, and we were having difficulties, but.
So when you went to school in Chihuahua, you were on your own?
No, she supported me
Okay.
with making a lot of efforts.
Okay.
Fortunately, in the school, they sent us since the first year to go to practice to the schools, 3 months in the school, 3 months in a hospital, 3 months, in several fields that eventually will be our field when we graduate. And I went to practice with the city council in the mayor office.
Okay.
And I seized the opportunity. I says, you know what? If I do my job well here, I can have probably a little bit more of the job, because it was so many things to do there. And I stayed, and even I need to stay only 3 hours every day. I didn't care. I stayed until it was my time to go to school, and I went in Saturdays. And because the mayor in that time, they had a lot of things to do over the weekend, going to the colonias, delivering toys to the kids, and for Mother's Day, things for the mothers. I went with them and helped. When my 3 months finished, he asked me if I will stay.
Wow.
And I says, yes, but the school required that I go and practice to another fields. And he arranged with the school that I stay there and go to the other fields during vacation time from the school. Then I got me a job almost in the first year.
Wow.
Then I was now feel comfortable. I can help my mom to support me, or almost support me by myself in the second year.
Wow. Did you finish that career field?
Yes. I finished, but by the time I finished, I knew that where I will go to do whatever I want to do. I learned that I didn't want the hospitals, I didn't want the schools, and I said, okay, where? And when we graduated, we got jobs. All the 20-something that we graduated that year, even though it was a career very young in that time, all of us have jobs waiting for us. But I chose one that it was not offered to me, but I looked for it, that it was with a federal bank, that they have loans for women, and they wanted women to manage those loans. Then is how I came to Juarez, working for a government bank. It was called Ban Rural, that they serve the farmers, and in that time they had the idea to give the wives of the farmers loans to put several things. It can be sewing shops, small shops, or it can be to grow pigs. So
there were microloans, small loans
yes,
to start small businesses.
But for groups.
Okay.
That was
the cooperative kind of group. Okay.
Yes, it was difficult, but I learned all of the numbers, Okay, you need to make this and you need to do this. And
okay. How long did you work there?
Very short period. 2 years.
Okay.
2 years. But then I decided, okay, I had, I don't know how to explain it, probably I married, and then we say, okay, we can have a business, we can open a business and see if we do it fine. And I was making a good salary in that time, in that office, and I asked for a permit for 1 year to be out of my work without pay, but if my business didn't go through, I can go back.
You had a safety net.
Yes, I need it because I was only 20 years old. And
Wow.
I can be without nothing.
So you started a business at 20, at the age
Yes.
of 20?
Mm-hmm.
And what was your first business venture?
The auto parts.
And why did you decide auto parts?
Because my husband worked in that field.
Okay.
And I knew that management is everything
Okay.
if you have the right people. He was very knowledgeable in the parts, not the management, but in the parts. And by that time, I was already management pig farms, cows, all the other different things with these ladies all around Juarez. And I learned it all.
Okay.
And also, I always knew that I want to be by myself. I didn't want to have somebody to tell me, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's for the reason when I finished secundaria, middle school, everybody stay in town and go to learn how to type and then, okay, you can go and work in a store or you can work with a lawyer and I says, no, I don't want that for me.
Okay. So you already had a dream?
Oh, yes. I think that it is very, very important for all the young people where they want to be. If they want to be wherever they are or they want to go, they need to dream. They need to know. I was fortunate that my father was different from the people in the little town, and he showed us a little bit more of the world, whatever he can afford. We were not poor when he was alive, and he bring us here to El Paso to shopping,
Okay.
and we were to camping. We know that they were another way of living,
Okay.
no use our little. But then he died, and no more shopping, no more going to places, no more anything.
Big adjustment.
Yeah, but I knew that it exists.
Okay.
And when I was in the little town, because unfortunately, because my mom was very young, her parents decided that she needs to go back to the little farm, not use the city. She won't stay on the city because she's too young and go back to her house. Then we were back to the farm. And I stayed there until I need to go to the middle school, and then I need to go again to Delicias.
Wow.
But when I was there and I was looking around, I says, I don't want to be here. And we need to go from the farm to Delicias in the bus, in the public transportation. And that bus broke every week. Then we arrived late at the school in the mornings. And the lady in charge of the door, joking at us because she knew we were all of us running late at the school. And no, I won't let you to enter. But we were on the bus and the bus was broken. And she was just laughing, but I didn't like it. And I says, when my father was alive, we had a car. Now we don't have. When I grow up, I will have my car. And I won't live here.
Okay. So you made some decisions. So when you opened your first store, what did you do? Did you rent a place? Did you?
Oh, yes, a very small place.
Mm-hmm.
very small, something that we can pay, very small, in not in a busy street, very cheap rent. And the first year, the whole first year, I was by myself. My husband was still working because he needs the income, and he was only in charge of placing the orders. And I was here in the store with one person trying to sell. And we were selling sandpaper, that it was a little niche because nobody carries the complete line. Then we need to go to the other places around the city and ask them if they will buy from us the sandpaper.
Oh, sandpapers,
And we started that way because we didn't have the money, so much money to stock the place.
But this was for machinery too, emery paper and...
Yeah.
Okay.
And also mainly was for when you paint a car and you sand it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you need to, you use a lot of different papers.
Right.
Then we have that little room full of sandpaper in different shapes and different grades.
So your first year, how did you do?
Go to try to sell.
Yeah. But you were having revenues. You were bringing revenue into the business.
Oh yes. Fortunately, it was something that the people needed.
Okay.
And I make the sale the first day we open it.
Okay.
And but I think that the main thing is, okay, what is really a need for what I will do? Is really a need, the things I will have, somebody will buy it? And you need to look very carefully. Right now, I believe that with all the information, the people have more tools to make a better decision. In 1976, we didn't have the information that we have available today, but still we know.
So how did you know that people were going? How did you know what product to focus on?
That was my husband.
Okay.
He knows because he was working for a big company, and he knows that every time they have a need for those products, they were not available in the city.
Okay. And so that little store, how long did that last? That little shop you opened up?
Oh, we opened it, and then in like a year, we opened another one, and then another one. And then we moved it from that little place to another one a little bit bigger. And we had like 3 or 4 stores in 4 years. At the end of the 3rd year, we approached a banker in Juarez. I really didn't think that I will get the loan to buy that first property. But we had the store in a very busy street, and in one of the streets on the side was living this old lady by herself in a big house. And in Juarez, in that time, it was not easy or cheap to get a telephone service. And this lady didn't have telephone service, and it's for the reason she went with us to the store to ask if she can use the phone. Okay, we'll use the phone. And she came at a point that says, I don't want to live in this big home, I want to sell it. And she asked me, why you don't buy it? And I says, because I don't have the down payment. Because I says, I think that the bank will loan me the 80% that I need, but I don't have the 20%. And she says, you've been very kind to me these years that you've been here, and I know that you are fair, I will allow you to pay me in 5 years the down payment.
Wow.
I said, really? But yeah, okay, let us go with the bank. And fortunately, the bank says yes, and we were able to get the first property where we moved the store. We were not in the main street anymore. We were on the side, but we pay. I signed, those notes, the Mexican notes that you use, that they are like letras de cambio, or the document, valid document. I signed 60 documents to her, one for every month.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
It was not just a handshake, no. And it was with interest. But it was in pesos. Then we had another big devaluation, and I told her, hey, what I am paying you is nothing now. And we were doing very well. She didn't allow me to give her more money.
Really?
But she asked, no, when I need something, I will tell you, because she never had kids. She was by herself. And I had the opportunity to look for her so many years. She was an American citizen, but living over there, and she has a pension from over here. Then she wants to move it over here. I moved her. I take care of her. I won't say with money, no, never. But
helping her.
Yeah, taking her to, or moving when she's moving from one place to another one. Until she died.
So you took care of her, and you had that property as your store. You moved into her home as a store.
Yes.
But now, so this is 4 years into the business. The business seems to be doing well. You've learned the techniques of running a business by this time, and you've already had experience, so you were doing well. And so now this takes you up to about 1980?
Okay. Before that, we were doing very well because we had credit here in El Paso, where like 5 big warehouses here in El Paso that supply all of us in the Mexican side. It's not like now that you don't find any big warehouses that give you a better price than a walk-in customer. They don't exist anymore. But in the 70s, 80s, there were a lot of them. And we had credit with all of them. We were able to grow because we have that credit and we pay on time. And we pay by the 10th. Everything we charge from the 1st of the month to the 30th of the month with 2% discount. Then I was all the time paying on the 10th to get my 2% discount. We got big trouble with devaluation in August 82. And my checks were Mexican checks in dollars, but Mexican because we had the business over there. And my checks didn't clear by when the government took the dollars and give us pesos, 49 pesos for $1. And when we were in the 26, it doubled. And we were in a big trouble because that 10 I paid here around $60,000 or $68,000 to those 5 warehouses.
Wow.
And oh yes, we were in a big trouble. I think that nobody now from the bank is alive or recognize me, but I took my pesos from the Mexican bank, coming here and stay in the lobby bank, asking all the people who were buying everything to Juarez because everything was so cheap, asking them if they will sell me the dollars instead to the bank. And I will paying them a little bit more than the bank, but I was right there in the lobby.
You were doing money exchange in the bank lobby.
Yes.
And they let you do that. But
I thank God they didn't throw me out. it was a little bit because it was what it is now, Chase's, and you know they have the lobby.
Downstairs, yeah.
Yeah, and then you need to go. Then I was not just in front of them, but I was there.
Okay.
And the first day we lost 50%, but I was able to change $10,000-$15,000. Then the following day we lost more money, but I was able to get the $60,000 in the 3 days.
Wow.
And pay everybody and keep my doors open.
Wow. A fascinating way to keep the business alive when the devaluation hit. At this time, all your stores were in Juarez. You had 4 stores.
Yes.
In Juarez, and through changing the money from pesos to dollars, you were able to recoup enough dollars to then pay your suppliers. That's what you were doing.
What I was doing is with my little cushion, it was gone, but I was able to pay all of them and keep my doors open. I will always tell everybody, pay. It doesn't matter how, pay. And if you can afford to pay in the day that you're supposed to pay, you need to be the first one to call to the supplier. Because if not, you will have the doors closed and you will never open. And
at that time, some of your competitors then couldn't survive. They didn't survive.
Yes, unfortunately, some of them didn't survive, or some of them still are in business, but still in the little small place, or even going smaller.
Wow.
But because we had the doors open, we were able to grow the business even faster after that, because any mechanic that went to our place can order something, and that part will be there in a matter of hours.
Wow. Wow.
Because we don't need to send somebody from over there to over here and buy it and then deliver. No. We keep our runners waiting here, and anything we needed, they can pick it up and cross the border.
So here's a challenge, the peso devaluation, that really hits the basic financial foundation of your business. And you find a way to meet that challenge and come out ahead. And in spite of the economic conditions, you were able to even grow the business.
Uh-huh.
The devaluation hit. Some of your competitors went under or got very small, but you had maintained credit with your suppliers.
Yes.
So what was the next step of growth for you in spite of the devaluation?
I always will say, if your credit is good, if your word is good, you will have the doors open and you can grow. We grow because we never stop having the ability to get the parts and deliver, and we got the parts today, we get paid today, but we needed to pay those parts until next month. Then we were able to keep the money, we were able to grow and go from there.
So you were supplying the garages in Juarez.
Uh-huh.
And so when did you decide to come to El Paso?
We learned that we can get a better price if we buy directly from the manufacturers, but we won't buy and they won't give us credit because we were in the Mexican side. And that was the main reason, because it was not really to supply here, no. It was to have a door open here to supply our own stores over there and eventually grow the business. But we know that at the beginning, we can have for our own. And opening here will open the doors for the manufacturing plants here in the United States to sell to us, because even if you have the money, they don't sell to us. You need to have the credit open. And it's for the reason we opened here.
So you opened a store so that you can get the supplies from the manufacturer rather than from a distributor.
Yes.
And so did that increase your profits and what?
Yes. Yes. Because now we are talking directly. I was keeping all the profits because we buy it directly from the manufacturing and selling directly to the user.
And so how did the store here do? Did it start growing too?
It started not too good at the beginning because we put somebody to run it because we didn't get the right advice. And we put somebody in front, and that person was stealing. Then I says, okay, I need to be here. And I come over here, and we start doing fine. At the beginning, no, but it was.
So you had to take control of the store here.
Yes, yes.
And so you still had your business in Juarez.
Yes.
But you had to take control of the store
Yes.
here. And then it started to grow once you were
Yes.
managing the finances.
Yes, yes.
And where was this store?
A1 Auto Parts, and we started in the Texas Street in a rented place and a small place, but we were able to buy a lot in the in the Piedras, almost corner with Alameda, 2 blocks from where we started, and again, I was fortunate that one of the young bankers here in El Paso believed me and gave me the money for the loan for build. We bought the land, and they give me the loan for the building, but give me the loan for the building only for 5 years, a balloon note. But I do my calculations. I says, okay, that's fine. How much I need to pay every month to pay it in the 5 years, and I start paying that amount. We were not taking any profits from this place to survive. Fortunately, we were surviving, or living, covering all our expenses from the Mexican side. Then we were able to do that. And it's funny because my banker was so concerned if I was doing well or what. And he used to stop by the store unannounced. And I always tell him, don't worry. But he didn't speak any Spanish, and my English, still is too bad. And he says, no, Silvia, I am not coming to check. And I says, yes, but don't worry, everything is fine. And yes, I was fortunate that I was able to do that, and fortunate to still be in contact with that first banker. He's no longer in El Paso, but after him, I had more bankers willing to work with me over several years, like Mr. Jonathan Rogers. He helping me a lot. He gave me some of the biggest loans that I got after that to grow more the business, to buy more properties for the business.
So how many stores did you have here in El Paso?
At one point, we had 4 stores here in El Paso and 1 in Arizona.
And so how long did you have this business?
We opened here in the 83, I believe, 84. And I sold it in the 2005.
So you had it, and you had 4 stores, or?
When I sold it, it was only 3.
Okay. And so you bought the properties of with loans, and this 5-year loan, they gave a 5-year loan to buy a building, to buy the building, which is a pretty hefty price, and a balloon payment at the end, and you decided to pay it in 5 years. So you divided the total amount by 5 years and paid that every month.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty. But you weren't taking the profits out of the business in order to do that.
And also the main thing, and what I will say to everybody, don't overspend. Don't overspend. If you can afford a car, I don't know, because you can afford the payment, it doesn't mean that you can afford the car. Same thing with everything, with a house. take care of the business first, and then buy everything you can afford if you have the money. Don't enter in more debt.
Well, there's another part of your story too, and that I've come to learn, and that has to do with your involvement with the auto parts industry in the United States. You got involved at a larger level. What was that about?
You know, I was the only woman in the auto parts business with a warehouse here in El Paso, and my suppliers start telling me, "You need to belong to a group." Why? And they say, because if you belong to a group, you will have better prices, like 5% less in this, 10% this. And when they start saying 5% here, 10%, I says, 10%? Let me start looking into the groups. And we joined one group. And, you know, the group has the board of directors on a national level, and they are the ones who deal with the suppliers and to get the better deals for the whole group. And they change people every year, one or two of the members of the board. And after some years, they asked me, some of them asked me if I want to run, and I says, you know, we are like, in that time we were like 100 and something members in all the United States. And I says, I am the only woman. All of them are men with much more knowledge, a lot of years doing business here in the United States. I am the new one because my business is not at all like other business, and I don't think that they will support me, but no, let us put you in the ballot. Okay, that's fine. And I was not thinking that I will win, but at the end I learned that yes, they wanted me there, and they re-elect me for two more terms. I spent 9 years in the board of directors, and I was the one telling them, no more, and we need to put in writing in our laws that no more than that.
What was association was that?
APA, and it's run by Professional Choice, is the brand of the auto parts.
And they named you president of that?
No president.
Okay.
No.
Just to the board.
I was only member of the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did they deal with all these men in the United States?
You know what? They were very happy, and I think that they were very happy because I had a very good relation with the manufacturing plants. They put me there because of that.
Oh, I see. So you brought an expertise because you had to get...
You know, if I ask them, okay, we need to do this, what are you doing for this other group? And no, Silvia, no, yeah. Why you don't do it to us? And they start telling me, probably because your members don't buy this amount. If you buy, okay, let us work in this. What we can do to, like for example, one of the manufacturings that it is in Pennsylvania, they say, I don't deliver to you with no freight because you are too far away and you don't buy $100,000 a year in my products. If you buy, I will give it to you. I will send my trucks to deliver. And I start doing the calculations. Okay, I am buying, you have also this product that I am buying from this other manufacturing, but if I reach the amount, I won't pay the freight. And the freight is very heavy when you talk about auto parts. And things like that I can do it. And also, the manufacturer people will tell me what was that they need. And
so you really watched your pennies and your discounts.
Oh, yes.
So you built the business up here, and you still have the business in Juarez.
Yeah.
And so, do you still have business in Juarez?
No more. No.
Just here in El Paso.
Uh-huh.
So in 2005, an opportunity comes to you to sell your stores?
You know, even before, I start networking with all my people in the group, and I will sell. Why you will sell? 2 reasons. I was years before looking at the new things that come in the automobile, and I saw that the electric motor will be here. It's not here because someone is stopping, but it's good, and it can deliver. And that motor won't require parts. And it was our heavy inventory in motor parts. And I says, we won't sell any more motor parts because of the changes with the new technology. And also, I have only one daughter that is been with me all the time. You can see her counting in the inventory when she was very little. She knows the business very well. And she told me, Mom, I don't want to be in the auto parts. Okay, we need, and I agree with her, because it's so difficult to manage 150,000 numbers. That was the inventory.
150,000 parts.
Yes.
Wow.
It's so difficult, and it's so much work. And then the big chains were growing more, and we cannot compete with a chain that has 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 stores. It's no way.
The prices.
Yes.
Okay. So you had an opportunity to sell. Who did you sell to?
I sold to O'Reilly.
Okay, so the O'Reilly stores used to be yours.
Yes.
Okay. So all of a sudden now you sell these. They liked your business, and you were happy about the sale.
Oh yeah, very happy.
So now, all of a sudden now, what do you do?
You know, before that, when I start thinking that at some point we will need to be out of that business, I was doing fine with my properties. I was not paying rent to anybody, and even in one of the properties, I had a little other space next to that I was rented. Then I says, okay, I will look an opportunity in this field. And I knew from before that if you keep a property a long time, sometimes you do fine, sometimes don't, but at the end, you are ahead. Because my mom, being a widow, she invests the money that my father left in houses and rented the houses. And I need to help her at some point when I was very young to collect the rents and making sure that they pay us. They say, oh, I can give only half now, but the other half next Friday. I was making sure that I was there the next Friday because we need to collect the rents. And then I say, okay, I will go in that area.
So you understood property and owning property, but you'd also developed a good relationship with the banks.
Oh yeah, if I didn't have the relation, I cannot do it.
Tell me a little bit about that relationship you had with the banks. They were pretty good to you.
Yes, in fact, the first time that I tried to buy a property that mostly were for rented, not for occupied by myself, Mr. Rogers told me, you are paying too high the price. And I says, no, but I want it. Silvia. And I understood that they will say no to me. And I went with another bank and asked for the loan, and they gave me the loan. And I went back and told Mr. Rogers, I am leaving. Why are you leaving? Says, because you say no. And he told me, I told you are paying too much. I didn't tell you no. Says, it's what I understood. Says, okay, don't go, don't leave. And I says, but I am too small to keep a relationship with 2 banks. And he says, no, you are not small, and you are not leaving. And yeah, that opened me also my eyes that I can be with 2 banks. And since that time, I deal with 2 banks, and I stay with the Bank of the West, and even they put me in the advertising for 1 year, kind of, it was my stores in the back and me talking about the bank. I cannot pay TV, radio, and newspaper, no. Then it was very, very good for me. And they helped me very much. And the other bank also treated me fine. And
So Jonathan Rogers was a fan of yours.
we had a very good relationship. And I still can remember him attending to my grand openings, also Larry, Patton. And they are always, when I need something, they are always helping me. Even when they started, because I've been with them almost since the bank started, some people tell me, why are you there? You are not white. And I says, I don't know, but they treat me fine. They treat me fine. And what I can tell you.
But you also have a CPA here.
Oh, yes. It's another thing that I always advise, so if they want to listen to me, look for a good person. Because at the beginning, when I started the business here, I had also a very bad experience with an accountant. And I was fortunate that my sister was working for somebody else, and she told me, you should go with this accountant, he's good. And I went with Mr. Torres, Robert Torres, and I appreciate his honesty and his good advice. He's always telling me, yeah, you are right. Yeah, no, you are wrong. No, this is, yeah, I think that we work together very well.
Good. We were fortunate enough to interview him a few segments ago. So now you have a good relationship with the banks. You've sold your stores. You know property. So, and when you sold the business, did you sell the properties or did you?
Oh, no.
You kept the properties?
No, I kept the properties, and I have contracts to them for 25 years.
Wow. So they're renting from you.
Yeah.
But you expanded now. Now you're expanding. Now you.
Oh, yes.
Now you changed the name. Now your business is AMEX, right?
Before, when I started looking at, okay, we need to move, this business won't stay. And I start in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I registered AMEX Properties.
Okay.
And I put the properties I had in that time, I put it in that entity.
Okay.
Advice of Mr. Torres and the financial also lawyer. Okay, you have so many properties paid off, but okay, you need to do another entity and profit now from them, charge rent to the other business. And then in 2003, I was offered to buy a self-storage place that it is Sunrise Self-Storage and Dyer and 54. Mm-hmm. It will be 10 years that I bought it in this year. Okay. And I like it. That operation is different. It's completely different of what I was doing before, but it's a good business. It's a nice way of diversify because in a shopping center or in a empty, like if O'Reilly's go bankruptcy, I will be with those empty spaces overnight. And in a self-storage, you have 500 spaces, and you change every day, but you won't have 100% vacancy overnight. Says, okay, this is good. And then I buy another shopping center and then a land. When I sold the business in 2005, I was able to expand more because I have the money from the other business.
So, and you've also developed a shopping center.
Yes. I was fortunate enough after 3 or 4 contractors to find one really good one, ABM Construction, Fernando Santana. And when I started working with him, one of my bankers says, who is that guy? Nobody knows him. Says, I know him. He already built one of my buildings, and I am happy. It's one small, but I will give it to him another one big one. But now you have a development of 70,000 square feet. Says, yeah, he will build it. Because with the other contractors, one building, and we were fighting. Mm-hmm. And finally now, I believe that we have a very good team of people, and we can do a lot of things that we cannot do it before.
So you're still building and buying properties?
Yes. We have now one developing in 375 in Pelicano. It is a very nice corner. I had a small strip center there, but I still have 6 acres of land. And we are dealing with a very nice national company for the corner. And if we sign it, I start building right away the other land that we have over there.
Wow. So do you know how many square feet of lease space you have? Do you know that number off the top of your head?
No. But I will say 300,000 or more.
Yeah. So what 3 pieces of advice do you share that have been very important to you? One we've talked, I would assume would be one, is credit. You have maintained good credit relationships. You paid on time, but you also collect on time.
Oh yes. And I call and go, and I try to help my tenants. Now they are what I have is tenants, and I try to be helpful to them. But at some point when it's no point, then I says, please.
Wow. And your daughter helps you with your business now.
I was fortunate that she graduated from the university in 2006, and she went to New York. And when I sold the business, you know what? I've been keeping you sold the business in 2005. I'm sorry, I sold it in 2007.
Oh, okay.
Because my daughter graduated in 2006, and she went to New York. When I sold the business in 2007, I told her, okay, you need to let me know if you will stay over there or you will come back, because we are only the 2 of us. If you are coming back, okay, we will start working very aggressive. If not, no, because it's, you work because you have a vision, you have a dream, but when you reach the dream and you don't have nobody to share,
okay.
The dream finished there.
Okay. So your daughter was part of your dream.
Yes.
And she decided later?
She came back, and now we have properties here in El Paso and properties in Houston, and she spent part of the month in Houston and part of the month here. And I am so happy that she is even better, I will say, because she studied. I like studies, and everything I learned is in the street, I will say. She's much better understanding all the writing, all the contracts, all the legal things. Even she studied everything in the commercial real estate. And
wow, so you have you graduated from auto parts to commercial real estate, and now you're finding success in commercial real estate. But you have new wind with you now because you have your daughter working with you. So you have a mother-daughter team.
yes.
And well, that's a beautiful story that you've shared with us. I really appreciate your taking time, and I think we've learned some very good principles of business, and a wonderful story. So I really appreciate your taking time, Silvia, to share this beautiful
Thank you
story.
for letting me be here. And I accepted because I think that anybody can succeed if they really knowing where they are going. And it doesn't matter if they are from another country, if they don't speak well, if I used to be very shy about that, but then I says, okay, I don't have a way of changing it. Even if I try to go to school right now, it's too late.
Well, you're sure a wonderful example of courage and some very wise decisions and not being afraid. But you do very well with the interview, and I appreciate that very much. And we thank you for watching this segment and hope it was educational, entertaining, but more so inspiring, because we had a very inspiring story from Silvia. Thank you much. Good day.